Hi Aishu, how are you? Good to see you again. Mukesh, Ajay, hey guys. Deepika, Rajesh, hi. How are you Aishu? What have you been up to? Hey Tams. Sorry, I'm just posting this. Natasha, hi. Week story. Welcome you guys, everyone. Tams, just give me 1 second. Just 1 second. I'm adding you. Pin comment. Yes. View. Wonderful. Hi Richa. Welcome back. So happy to see you guys here always, yeah. What's everyone up to? How's it going? We are waiting for Tamanna to join. What's everyone been up to? How's it going? How's the week been? It's so nice to see everyone here on this page. We're going to wait for Tamanna to join, and we have a very interesting subject as usual today. And it's all about Kundli and karmic matching. I am very curious to know what Tamanna has to say about this. And let's see what we come up with in today's session. And you guys, please keep your questions ready. We will take them towards the end of the session. It's not a personal reading session. No personal questions, please. Did I lose network? Oh, okay, one moment. I'm just trying to add.
Hello.
Hi, how are you? I don't know what you.
Mm,
Oh, I love the
Can
book
you see me? Can you hear me?
very well. I can see you. Hi, Jayshree. How are you?
I'm good. I'm exactly how I was 1 hour ago when we spoke.
We had a really long
I
chat.
know.
So yeah,
I I
I
know. I know.
pretty what you've done behind you with the books and the Buddha and all. It's a
Yeah, I
new.
just gave. Yeah, I was just fed up 5 months in one space, so I just gave my den and my study a makeover, making it look more Moroccan and more boho, which is very me.
Love, lovely,
Yeah.
love. Okay, so let's begin with our subject today. Although we have actually a minute, so if we wanna chat a while, we can. Otherwise, then we just kind of.
Yeah.
Um,
We can start whenever you're ready. I see a lot of people. Hi, Niti. Hi, Pinky Sachnani. It's always nice to see familiar names and,
yeah,
it's nice. You know that, okay, every Thursday, 4 o'clock, you're going to say hello
yeah,
to these people.
a lot of lovely repeat viewers. So I guess we're doing something right.
Definitely. How have you been, Achal?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm just really looking forward to our chat today because I'm very fascinated with this whole process of. So let me share something with you in the meantime, Tams. And I know I did this. I've said this to you, but I want to say it on chat. Is that recently, I've been in this process of house hunting, and I saw this beautiful house that I wanted to shift to, and it fit my budget and all of that. But someone ended up telling me that the vastu of this house was not nice. And I spoke to the people who live there, and that lady just looked at me and she went like, "Beta, somebody to told my father-in-law कि हमारे 32 गुण match होते हैं." She's telling एक गुण match नहीं हुआ, my marriage didn't last. So we laughed,
Yeah.
but in context of this whole kundli matching or whatever, I'm glad we're having this conversation. And so tell me what is the whole I know I'm supposed to introduce you, but you're not new to Decoding Life with Anshel. You're part of the channel now very much. We've been doing
Yeah.
week after week. So tell me, Tams, what is the science behind kundli matching, and how is it different from karmic matching? Hi Suchi auntie, how are you?
Hi, Sushi Auntie. So, guys, let's start. I'm quite keen on talking about this subject because we have spoken about soulmates and twin flame, and very recently, Achal also did an amazing session
Yeah.
on matchmaking, be it arranged marriages and all about matchmaking. So, I thought that why not do this topic as a sequence to the previous live session Achal had. Now, whenever we combine two charts together, Achal,
Yeah.
the energy created out of those two charts creates a certain dynamic. So
Okay.
that becomes your Kundli or your karmic match. Now,
Okay.
every individual has their own karmic energies. It could be their own love cycle, it could be their own family cycle, it could be their own career cycle, so
Right.
on and so forth.
Right.
And this is something that is standard that every individual living on earth has. Now,
Yeah.
when two people come together, and guys, this is not only in regards to a love relationship. Of course, the prime topic of this conversation is about marriages and Kundi matching, but this is a common fact that when two people come together as business partners, as investment partners, or as love partners, or as marital partners, it's very important to see both the sides of their energy and
Yeah.
the collective energy that comes out of their match. So, for example, if two people partner up together for work, we
Yeah.
look at their career perspectives to see whether they complement each other, whether they balance each other, or
Okay.
what is the combination of both these energies collectively.
Okay.
As we know in science, a plus and minus is minus, a plus and plus is plus. So I'll give you an example. If your career cycle is great and you're doing very well in terms of your career, and you decide to partner up with someone whose career cycle is not so strong,
Okay.
that person's negativity, I won't say that person's negativity, that person's negative chart or a weak chart will drain you out. So no matter how good your career cycle is, you will feel extremely drained out, or you feel very stuck in areas of your career if the combination of the energies is not good. Similarly, if you partner up with someone who has a positive chart, they will enhance and boost your career cycle because a plus and plus is a plus.
Okay.
So this is exactly what happens even when we match kundlis or when we do karmic match. Now your kundli and your karmic blueprint or your soul blueprint basically has the same information. It's just that the way you read it, the way you perceive it, the way you interpret it, the language is different.
Okay.
But the predictions more or less are quite similar on the whole, depending on which psychic you go to or which astrologer you go to, whether they really know the science.
Yeah.
In love or a marriage partnership, today, if your family cycle is good, so before I come to that, guys, let me tell you one thing. When you are single, you have a love cycle and then you have a family cycle. They are two very different cycles. Once you get married, the love cycle does not exist anymore. Even though if it's a love marriage, it comes into your family house because your partner becomes your husband, in-laws, etc.
So it becomes a
Does
family cycle. It's no
it
longer
becomes a
a love cycle.
family cycle. So the love
Okay.
cycle is only for unmarried people. Once they get married, it turns into a family cycle.
Family.
Now we've heard or we've seen of a lot of love marriages fall apart, where they've been madly in love with each other, but the minute they get married, issues start.
Yeah.
It means that karmically they were only meant to be lovers and they do not have a strong match for marriage.
Okay.
Because that depends in your family cycle. Now, if one person has a very strong family cycle and the other person has a weak family cycle, the minute the person gets married, whether they get married to A, B, C, family issues will start. And when a family cycle is low for a very long time, it leads to a divorce or a separation or a very unhappy marriage.
Okay.
Also, when you don't have a karmic match or the kundlis don't match with each other, no matter how much you love each other, no matter how good things are on the physical surface level, the universe will create problems for two people to move apart because it's not meant to be.
Okay.
So that's the entire science of kundli matching, that we see whether two people energies really balance each other, whether they complement each other or whether they go against each other. Hence, whenever we kind of get married or whenever even engage into a business partnership, it's very important to see whether the partnership that you're entering is complementing you or actually working against you. So that's what exactly a kundli match is and the science of it.
Okay, I'm going to be a complete skeptic here. And, before we get further into this, just to get this thing that's been on my mind for a very long time out of the way, that I've had a lot of people tell me that, their kundlis are matched, their marriages have not matched. But their kundlis have not matched. People have been advised against marrying XYZ partners. They've taken the plunge and they've been very happy together. What is then
Yeah.
the expectation for something like this?
Okay, so now if I'm to talk from an astrological point of view, actually, I'm going to answer that question in 2 points. One is as an astrological point of view. Now, a lot of astrologers just check the number of the Kundali, like you rightly said, 32 on 36, 22 on 36,
Hmm.
30 on 36, or 16 on 36. The average, anything above 18, 19 is apparently considered to be good.
Good, yeah.
Now, what happens is there, for example, when you match Kundlis, there are 8 different factors they see. They
Yeah.
look at the health, they look at the compatibility factor, they look at the love factor, they look at the sexual compatibility, they look at the family in terms of bearing a child, they look at the lifestyle.
Yeah.
Now, today, 3 cycles may have a 10 on 10,
Yeah.
but if 2 cycles of a sexual relationship or a love compatibility is a 2 on 10, it completely ruins the entire average, which
Right.
astrologers don't take into consideration. They
Okay.
only look at they only look at the sum total. They
Okay.
don't look at the aspects that are weakening the average cycle, which is extremely important.
Okay.
Today, if two people can be, the love can be good or the compatibility can be good, but if the sexual chemistry is not good, or if the lifestyle is not good, or if your ethical thinking, your basically your vyavaharik jivan, which is your worldly functioning in life is not good, there will always be differences of opinion.
Okay.
So that's why that even if some people have had a 30 on 36 or a 25 on 36 fully, the marriages don't last because the aspect which is weak is so weak that it's not really supporting the other cycles.
Understood. Understood. Understood.
Okay.
By the way,
Whereas on, yeah, I see my mother.
yeah. Hello, Auntie. Just wanted to say hi to you quickly. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So, yeah. Now, what happens is when someone who has a 13 or a 36 Kundli or a 18 or a 36 Kundli, they kind of work in sync to build that compatibility up.
Yeah.
So, they accept and they put in their, so there's a lot of choice of free will, there's a lot of conscious effort also that goes to make a marriage work. And when they are going through that painful period, or whenever they're going through that period of investing a lot of efforts, it really aches and it's really tough. But in the larger picture, the marriage really works.
It does. You're saying so that
It does work.
thing work because a lot of times when two people really of course in the earlier days there was no question of, not as much, it was not so mainstream, intercultural, intercaste marriages and stuff like that, but they say now that and even astrologers say that if you're really in love with someone, then don't try to match your kundlis, because then you don't want it in your head to say that if something doesn't work out, then you'll just be like, you end up breaking a relationship because the kundlis haven't matched. uh,
True.
so and also abroad, right, they don't do kundlis matching. I'm
Mhm.
not saying that their marriages last longer or don't last or whatever, but I'm just saying that what happens then to all those people who don't want to match kundlis? Does this really negatively affect their life?
Okay, so Kundli matching, or even if the Kundli does not match Achal, it's not that, it's an earth-shattering thing.
Right.
What happens is when a Kundli is not matching, or whenever we do a astrological match or a karmic match, and we look at the third party collective energy that 2 people bring on the table,
Huh.
we never dismiss it saying, no, you shouldn't. We
Right.
always tell the client, or we always tell the people that, listen, this is a weak match,
Right.
but you need to accept this. If you want love, then you need to kind of let go of a certain area. Or
Okay.
if you want, a good chemistry, or you want to be with someone just because they have the money, then you
Yeah.
have to let go of something else. So
Yeah.
we will never go against a bad match, but
Right.
we also give the clients, information, karmic lessons, how to basically balance the energy and vibrate at a higher frequency in terms of the third party energy.
Okay.
Because see, today now, for example, you and me as friends, even as friends, you bring a certain dynamic, I bring a certain dynamic.
Correct.
And every relationship, be it friendship, be it business partnership, or be it a love, like a romantic relationship or a marital relationship, the third party dynamics is very important. And we as souls on a karmic level have to learn certain lessons.
Right.
So today, just because your Kundli is not matching, or just because there's no karmic match, does not mean it's written in stone that it's going to fall apart. But
Understood.
Also what happens is, Achal, when I work with my psychic predictions, now today you've come to me as a client, you've been a friend. So I know your karmic lessons, I know the background you come from, I know your plus, I know your minus. The
Right.
minute I meet somebody else,
Yeah.
I have to see whether the person is enhancing you or making you compromise.
Correct. Correct.
So the information or the details or the guidance that comes out is looking at what are the karmic lessons the person needs to learn. What is the kind of life that they need to lead, whether it is a more materialistically based life, whether it's a more socially based life, whether it's a more spiritually based life, or whether it's a more career oriented life. Now today, if I meet someone whose career chart is brilliant and wants to work, and the universe is supporting a career chart,
Yeah.
and if they get a proposal, and from the energies of the person, I pick up that, okay, this person is insecure, or this person is very conservative, or this person is very traditional and is not going to be with the wife or the husband going all out. I will tell the client that, listen, you want to marry, please marry, but this person's belief systems in terms of embracing you as a career person or an ambitious person or a headstrong person will not match. So you need to compromise and step down.
Right.
So
Right.
what happens
So
is when we look at the I won't say the negative aspects, but the karmic lessons that two people need to learn, we as psychics, as astrologers, as energy readers pick up whether it's going to complement each other or not.
right. 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 But does it happen that one person's chart affects the other person's chart? Like, what if I'm uh, I'm marrying someone who's maybe, say for example, a financial cycle is weak, but
Mhm.
could be that my financial cycle is strong. Is his chart going to negate my chart, or is my chart going to negate his chart? How do we know which way this applies? And for all such
No,
aspects.
so it will kind of balance it out in terms of the average,
Okay.
which means that, okay, Achal, you want to marry this person, you want to be with this person, but this is going to be your average lifestyle till the person's chart really changes. Number
Right.
one. Now,
Right.
today, if your financial cycle is good, of course, it keeps growing.
Yeah.
So, at any point, you will always be a little more, you will always have a chip on your shoulder, against the other person, where because you started your financial journey much later. So, for example, if your monthly income, I'm just giving an example, is say 1 lakh,
Yeah.
so you have already started at 1 lakh, but the person is starting at 40,000. And with time, by the time the person reaches 1 lakh, you've already reached 4 lakhs.
Yeah.
So there will always be a gap. Now, how you fulfill the gap, how you fulfill the void really doesn't matter. Now,
Okay.
if you are the kind of person who money does not matter, who's okay not traveling, who's okay doing the household work, who doesn't want to work and is very happy, chilling, taking care of kids, doing social service, running an NGO, whose journey is more spiritual,
Yeah.
a match like that doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Right.
Doesn't matter. But if you're the kind of person who loves to travel, who wants to eat out, who wants to party, who wants to travel business class, then of course that will matter.
Correct.
So this really depends on personal priorities,
Right. Right.
So that personal priorities keep changing with time. And that's why we say that depending on where we are in life, we attract people to
They
kind of give us what we want.
Understood. Understood. But does it help or negate? Like, in the sense that, will my partner start making more money because my financial chart is stronger, or will it be that my financial life will start being lesser than what it should have been because I am married to someone who has a weak financial chart? Is basically what I'm
No,
trying to ask.
so no, that does not happen. What happens is, unless and until you're getting into a business partnership with someone, in a
Yeah.
in a marriage, we always look at the family chart. Now, there are
Right.
some people by default, Achal, their family chart is weak, where they have to go
Yeah.
through a divorce karmically. Now, suppose there is no divorce written in your karma or in your kundi or in your astrological chart, but the person that you're getting married to by default, by birth, has a defect in their chart, which means even you'll go through a divorce. So,
Correct.
in a karmic, in for a marriage, we only look at the family chart and the dynamics of a family chart.
Okay. Okay, understood, understood. And does this vary between love marriages and arranged marriages? Because, like I said, that again in love marriages, people are a little reluctant to check charts.
So what actually happens is sometimes you meet some souls, Achal, only for a certain purpose. Like suppose you and me are friends. Our purpose is friendship.
Yeah,
The minute we try to, that's a sole purpose. The minute we try to convert that purpose or that, sorry, that friendship into a business partnership, we
correct,
may not make good partnerships.
correct,
So
correct.
today, if your karma is A to B and B to A, and you try to do A to D and D to A, it may not work because the universe is not supporting that combination. The universe is not supporting that relationship.
Understood.
Hence, I said a lot of love relationships fall apart because their purpose, their journey is only for love, romance, dating.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
is not to get married and run a family together and have kids.
correct, correct. Does in today's day and age, and I know that earlier, the minute you had a physical relationship with someone, that was only possible after marriage in our age-old traditions. Whereas these days, people are a little more open to this. So, astrologically, how does one define the concept of marriage? Does having a physical relationship automatically make it a marriage, or or is it? You know what I'm trying to ask? Like I don't know how
I
to.
get it.
So
I got it. So basically, any form of sexual interaction, of course, back then, we as the whole human race, we were a lot more sensible.
yeah,
It was not so frivolous. But now, it's just all over the place. But
right.
having said that, sexual energies make a lot of difference. Even it before it starts affecting your other cycles, Archel, it starts affecting your own personal energies.
Right.
And over a period of time, if you sexually engage with one person consistently and constantly,
That's what.
that's when it starts affecting your other aspects. But before it starts affecting your external aspects, it starts affecting your internal energies.
Right.
So,
Right.
yes, a sexual intercourse with the partner, their energies do rub on to you, and your energies do rub on to the other person.
But is that also considered like a marriage come divorce? Like if you've had a relationship with someone, say consistently for about 3 years, you've broken up.
Yeah, that does come into that does show up as a either like a broken engagement or a broken marriage, even if it's more consistent.
Correct. Because in today's day and age, a lot of people are also resistant to the act of marriage.
Marriage.
But people do have very long sustaining relationships, live-ins, and I'm talking all over the world, not necessarily in our culture.
Mhm.
Also a lot in our culture, but maybe less so. But even that's considered, is that considered to be, does your chart change from your personal chart to a family chart at that point?
That is actually considered the minute two people are living together,
Yeah.
it is considered as a marriage, even if there is no documentation.
Okay. And
So
it's not a sexual relationship that defines it.
no.
No. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So your sexual energies start by first affecting your own emotional, mental, spiritual energies, and that's why they say that it's very important to be very conscious of the person that you're engaging with sexually.
Right.
You'll end up picking up fears. Now, today I'll give you an example. If your financial cycle is brilliant, and some people are born with a luck,
Yeah.
some people have that Raja Lok, Lakshmi Yoke, and when you have that good luck or something very positive in your chart and when you engage sexually with someone, you're passing that luck on to them.
Right.
That's why they say that all of a sudden, people say, "Oh, after she or he's come into my life, my luck has changed."
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
through the sexual energies that the luck changes.
Right. 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 That's very, very informative. I'm actually going to now open this forum for questions. Guys, if there's anything you wanted to ask, there were tons of questions. Uh, there were tons of, yeah, would we get to see this IGTV video? Yes, this video is going to stay on this page. Please feel free to go and see the video anytime. How is Kundli matching from karmic matching? I think that we spoke about. How to get a sense of whether we match Kundli or not without an astrologer or a psychic. I don't know.
You can't do that. You have to, I mean, certain things are left to experts. If we start doing everything in life, so it's a science, it's a study. You really need to go. It's like performing a surgery on yourself. You can't do that. You need to go to specialists, experts who know the art, who know the science to kind of match kundlis.
Yeah. Do sun signs matter? That's how
Sun
magic.
signs, sun signs matter, but that's a very secondary thing. It's the primary thing is your personal chart. Today, two Leos are meant to, like two Leos can come together very well, or two Aries and a Sagittarius can come together very well. But if one of them have a personal defect or a personal a weak chart, then maybe they will not come together beautifully as much as an Aries and a Sagittarius can come together. So it's very relative depending from situation to situation.
Understood. What if the chart doesn't match, but the marriage takes place? Will it last? I don't know.
That's a beautiful question. Now, it will be a rough marriage, but in a situation like that, if at all you go to an astrologer or you go to a psychic, they tell you solutions. They will tell you how to balance those energies. They will tell you that, listen, you need to adjust in this aspect of your life. They will tell you what you can expect out of the relationship, what you can't expect out of the relationship. And
Right.
depending on you, if you're willing to give up your expectation and your rigidity about a certain aspect, the marriage can work beautifully. But if you're hell bent on saying that, no, I don't want to compromise on a certain aspect, then sooner or later the marriage will fall apart.
Right. 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 Wow. Scary. Lagan Rashi or Moon Rashi? Which one is more important in your day to day?
So I don't want to get into details because that's technical
Yeah.
astrology. Now, Lagna is basically what you're born with.
Ah.
So when a person is born, that's their Lagna chart. The minute they get married, they have another chart which is called Navmansh.
Hmm.
That is your chart after marriage and what kind of a person you should be with karmically.
Okay.
So today, what happens is when you're born, the universe deciphers your deservability, not in details, but
Yeah.
in relativity. So there
Right.
are some people whose chart is very strong and they are meant to be with someone stronger.
Right.
So Navmanch basically is a reflection of what kind of a chart are you meant to be with after you get married.
Right. Right. A very important question here. Being a Manglik affects your partner. Is it if your first marriage has failed, then in the second marriage? What's the question here? I don't know, but Tams, let's take this thing up about Mangliks because there's so much
Yeah.
chatter about Mangliks and marrying trees and all of that. Can you please explain that for us? And
Yeah.
Manglik, marrying Manglik and
Yeah, so Mangal is basically is the planet that sustains your love relationships, culminating that into a family relationship. The transition between a love or an arranged marriage and the transition into the family is deciphered or is controlled by Mars, which is Mangal. Now, if you are Mangalic, which means your Mars, that planet, is sitting in a weak house and it changes after the age of 28.
okay,
Now, for many people, I think for girls it's 28, for guys it's 31, it's something like that. But that is not a given. So, someone who goes through a divorce may not necessarily be Manglik.
right,
Versus some Manglik who gets married after the age of 30, 31, not necessarily will go through a divorce. Number two. Number three is sometimes, even if you're Manglik and you've had a second marriage, there is no guarantee that it won't last. So
okay,
that's when a lot of other aspects also come into play.
okay. But is it
You
important
know,
for Manglik to only marry a Manglik? They also say that a strong Shani Patri works better with a
Mm.
Patri.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter if the Shani is weak or the Mangal is weak, because here, Achal, we use the formula of a minus and minus is plus. So
Right,
if two people are a minus chart, if two people are Manglik, or one is Manglik and one has a very weak Shani or a heavy Shani, they cancel out the effect of each other.
right, right. Lovely. I'm going to skip this one. What are the main points? If there is no karmic match, then will the marriage fail?
I've
Is
already answered that. It really depends from person to person. Now, I have seen so many cases, Achal, where karmically I don't see a divorce and there is no divorce, but
yeah,
one of them just want a divorce for the sake of it. One of them has fallen in love with somebody else. One of them is just fed up, does not want to adjust. They expect the stars and the moon
yeah,
and they've made up. So a divorce can also happen not because of astrological or karmic reasons. It can also happen because either one or two people may decide not to stay together.
Right, right, right. And that has nothing to do actually with charts or whatever. It's also just,
That's got nothing to do. Like, I mean, let me talk about my personal life. When I was going through my divorce 2 years ago, everyone's like, oh, but didn't you see it coming? And, even before I got married, I got the Kundi match and it was a decently good match.
right,
But a lot of people were like, didn't you see it coming? And I tell them that this was not meant to be a break. Now, anyone who's read my chart says that you have a brilliant chart. Like a
right,
second divorce was not really being seen.
right,
But because of a choice of free will of somebody, of my partner, that is,
right,
if he decides to walk out, I can't hold him back saying just because the kundis are matching, you have to be married.
right,
You
right,
know? So a
right,
choice of free will is also equally important.
right. Janvi's also brought up a very interesting question. I think after this, maybe we can take last question and then wrap. Are we destined to marry a person? Is it all written? They say na jo aana hoga aayega, jo jab hona hoga hoga, and all this that we listen to is a very interesting one. Is it predestined? Can your chart
Okay, okay.
define who you're going to be?
So the what the chart predestines is the kind of power, the quality of the chart you're supposed to be with, number one, and the timing when you're going to meet the person. Now, in that particular timing, you may meet two people with the same quality of the chart. I mean, be it powerful or in this certain way, or three people. But depending on at that point, how you've learned your karmic lessons, what you give priority to makes a lot of difference.
Right.
That's why we say that, at 18, we want someone who's good looking.
Yeah.
At 24, we want someone who's fun. At 28, we want someone who loves us. At 36, we want someone who's stable. At 40, we want someone who's more calm, more grounded, more spiritual, That depends on how sooner you learn your karmic lessons, what your frame of mind is. So I will not say that, oh, the person is predestined, but the quality of the energy of the person is definitely predestined.
Yeah,
Does that make sense?
Yeah, because a lot of times I know people ask, okay, oh, can you tell us a little bit about what it is going to be, who is going to be like, what is the profession going to be, what are they going to look like? Is it even possible to define all this from a chart? Is it even possible to say that, this is the kind of person that you're going to be with? And then try to fit the people in your lives into those molds?
So, in a way, I'll tell you why. Now, I'll again talk about my personal example. Any astrologer who's read my chart, or even I know, my energies, it's something that I'm born with. They're very strong. And it's not only to do with spiritually strong energies. Anyone who's even remotely interacted with me knows that I'm a very strong, independent person in my own being, whether I'm working, whether I'm not working. That's my chart. Now, a weak person will not be able to handle that chart. The person equally needs to have a strong chart, either equivalent to mine or stronger than mine, to be able to sustain it.
Correct.
There has to be a balance.
Correct.
But today, my energies are very weak.
Yeah.
I will not be able to handle a very powerful chart. I will need someone who is a notch higher, or two notches higher, more stronger than me, or on par with me.
Right.
Or today, it's not only about a woman. Today, even with men, today, if a man's energies are very powerful, or his kundli or his astrological chart is very powerful, he cannot do with a weak woman. He can't do with a woman waiting at home, calling him up 100 times, when are you coming home, and, be that nagging woman. He needs to be with someone who's equally independent. And when I talk about independent, it's not necessarily mean going out and making your money. It's independent in the spiritual existence or emotional independence.
Yeah.
So it's very strong that, we kind of live to that, rather than getting attached with, or just because we love someone, we have to marry the person.
Correct.
Because it's a life. Okay, I'll give you an example. It's a lifelong decision. Today, if you have to walk, say 500 meters or say 200 meters, you're okay walking in your party shoes.
Yeah.
But if you have to walk 50 miles,
the
same party shoes will actually land up giving you a shoe bite. You will not be able to do it.
Correct.
So if at all you want to just be in a love relationship, you want to date, you want to fling around, you want to have your fun, whether you get a match, whether you don't get a match, it doesn't matter. But something which is more lifelong, it's very important to have the right kind of match. And I know it's a very wrong example about comparing a shoe to a life partner, but
No,
it is what it is.
yeah.
You know, it makes
Someone
sense.
you're going to have a family with, someone who's going to define and going to be there for you in your life, for the good, the bad. I guess all of those things are very important, right? Like, I guess that's where it plays out. Okay, we're going to do one last question, Tams. Let me see. Gemstones, I'm not going to go down there, please. That'll start another whole. I don't think so, right? Start a whole bag of.
I can answer that. Now, coffee and chats, if there is a divorce in your chart, or if there's a divorce in your partner's chart, and if y'all have reached the point of conjunction where, okay, y'all are heading for a divorce, then no, you have to go through divorce. No amount of gemstones can change that for you. But if there's no divorce written in your chart and you're just going through a rocky period, gemstones basically protect your energies, give you the energy so that you can deal and learn your karmic lessons in a better way. You can, वो बोलते हैं ना, gemstones affect your sadbuddhi.
Correct. Correct.
So while a negative chart is basically getting you to think very negative, gemstones have the ability to absorb that negativity and bring you back to the right frame of mind so that you can look at the situation in a more pragmatic, in a more logical manner and take the right decision. So that's when, the play of gemstones or crystals, or that's when healers also come into play.
Right. Very interesting chat. I think we should wrap that up. I do want to share one thing though with the viewers, that I know that it's every day for you, and you see people with all sorts of experiences or whatever. But from all my understanding and learning in life, I do believe that sometimes, no matter what your charts say and define, it's your willpower, it's your awareness in life, your learning, your experiences, the strength and the maturity with which you handle everything in your life, the good, the bad, the ups and the downs, can also change the course of your life and also can give you a better quality of life. We are all meant to go through all the ups and downs. We're all meant to go through the good and the bad, but it's how we react to each situation and how we deal with it is also what's going to define our life in the course. So please, let's not have Kundlis define your love lives. It's a guidance, it's a chart, it's a basis, and you have professionals to go to really give you the correct guidance as to whether a partner, like, am I right, like, get blinded
Yes,
by
absolutely.
just read and say अरे 18 मैच हो गया, ये नहीं होने वाला है, या
Yeah.
30, yeah, please go get married.
Yeah.
It make or break your life is all we're trying to say. So please know that you go to get the right kind of guidance in life. And yeah, wishing everyone very well in their lives. Tams, thank you for doing this chat.
Always a pleasure.
Informative, and to all our viewers, this video is going to stay on the page and you can refer to it whenever you like, share it with your friends. On Saturday we are also doing a very lovely, interesting chat with a musician, so we're probably going to have some music on live chat or whatever. It's going to be like a fun evening. You guys are most welcome to come and join us. It's Saturday 4 o'clock. I will be sharing the information. Thank you, baby. Love you as always. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, guys.
The other end. See you.